248-539-9797. Of course, the big news today, and we've reacted to it and we'll continue to react to it, but the Michigan they shifted gears yesterday. They decided to accept that that there was a change in their approach towards the suspension of Jim Harbaugh. They've accepted it. They kind of pulled a 180. People were wondering why. I suggested that there was new information introduced, and then that's followed up today with the news that they have relieved the linebacker coach, Chris Partridge, of his duties. So what does that mean in terms of the scope of where we are with the investigation? Well, we don't know why yet. There's certainly a lot of implications that can be made out of this. I don't suspect we will hear on this anytime soon. And the reason is because there's an ongoing investigation. But I'm going to guess here that Michigan saw something yesterday that's led to this decision. In the meantime, they continue to be in the same place that they were. They can't comment on an ongoing investigation. So they might say something as to the exact reason why. But Gator, I keep thinking that this is going to end up being something that comes out when the whole thing is done.
Yeah, probably. And I don't know when this whole thing's going to be done. They don't move at a quick pace in the NCAA. I mean, we're still waiting for.
This is pretty quick. Some of this has been pretty quick.
Well, it's been punishment by the Big Ten, not by the NCAA.
Yeah, but the Big Ten is getting their information from the NCAA.
Well, because the Big Ten can act.
Yeah, the Big Ten doesn't have an investigative arm.
Right.
But, and in some ways, like I said, like I've always said about these things, don't make a one-day story a two-day story. This wasn't going to go away after one day. But, the quicker they move through this, the sooner you get to the far end of it. But I still want to know about the precedent that's been set here for how quickly this has moved. But in the end, look, I've talked to people in Michigan a lot about this that are either at or near the top of the pyramid that have never been interested in, quote, getting away with anything. But they were interested in acting upon evidence. And I suspect that Thursday or Friday, some new evidence was introduced, and here we sit. Now, again, we will wait till the investigation's done before we really see where this goes. The Big Ten did release a statement in their statement yesterday saying there's no evidence that this leads up to the top of the totem pole and Jim Harbaugh. So that's some good news, Michigan fans, if you want the head coach to be around. I do think that the not having the head coach for the final two games does make an impact. We pointed out that when the head coach hasn't been there, it's Michigan's lowest scoring game, second lowest scoring game, tied for their third lowest scoring game, and their sixth lowest scoring game. So is that a direct reflection of not having the coach? Could be. And then the other thing is now you're down two coaches. Now, Rick Minter, who has gotten the boost up, he was an analyst for Michigan and is the son of the defensive coordinator. I'm going to guess that his role, and I'm going to see if I can figure this out, was he was an analyst that helped with the linebackers, and that's why he's the one that gets the bump up. Maybe it's just his resume was better than anybody else.
Former defensive coordinator at major universities. I think he's well-versed in everything involved with the defense. If you're Michigan,
mm-hmm.
you, like you've said, you want to get it all out there, right?
I am in favor of that.
One of the reasons I think you would want to follow that advice, you've got a really good team that has a chance to win a national championship. If you get it all out now, as opposed to later, you get it out now, and let's say the hammer is going to drop at some other point, then maybe the hammer doesn't drop to the point where you have to vacate things. Right? If you have a special season, you win a national championship, and you're going to be adamant, nope, we're standing together. We're not going to give up our own here. We're riding this out. And it comes out that you knew better and you should have gotten rid of some guys and you didn't. You might have to vacate wins, vacate championships, vacate titles.
Yeah, at some point you shift gears And again, that feels what this is. This
Yeah.
might be. You shift gears into a little bit of damage control, right?
Yeah, because at this point, it's like, okay, sacrificing a linebackers coach right now, that's what the evidence is pointing to. We're doing what's smart, and this should not be an impediment to us getting to the game against Ohio State. And if you beat Ohio State, obviously you're playing for a Big Ten championship and taking on the West. And maybe the over-under for that game is above 30.
Iowa's game is above 30 this week.
Wow.
So we're under the impression that maybe some new evidence was shown to Michigan, and then we don't know for sure if it's related or not, but then a linebackers coach gets released, right? And then you brought up earlier, Doug, that at some point, you can't just keep losing coaches, right? And you can't just – it's going to affect the team, affect the kids at some point. But is it safe to say that it would all come out at this point, or would this continue maybe even the next week? Or is all the evidence and everything that presented yesterday, or is it going to continually leak more? That's when you have more.
I think you ask the NCAA or you ask the Big Ten to please provide all the evidence you have so we can act on it, and that would tend to make some sense. Do I think that this is completely done? I can't say that, but I think it slows down here for a minute.
Because, then all of a sudden, well, here's more evidence next week. Then what? We got to let go of another coach or something? You know what I mean? Like, I was just wondering what you thought was going to happen, but is it like a slow leak thing? This whole story seems like a slow leak.
Drip, drip, drip.
Yep. Mm-hmm.